So continuing step one with an example, if we had, and of course we'd have to be given this, we would be had 100 units that were started or that were in the beginning work in process, and then we had 3,000 units started into production. Maybe a little bit too much there. Then the units to account for would be 3,100, which would then give us our units to accounted for. And I think at this point we'll move this over here to complete and transferred out. So then our units accounted for would also need to be 3,100. And so if we are given that we had 500 in ending work in process, and this is units that would have been at least started into production in work in process 1, then the units that were completed and transferred out must be 2,600. So 3,100 that we've had to account for. With the 500 that were in the ending work in process. In the second step, we would have to calculate what's known as equivalent units. For each cost element. So when we look at cost, our cost elements, we would have from before our direct materials, direct labor, and overhead. Now, there are a number of ways that we could go through the production process here and go through this estimation process as far as what degree of completion or when materials are added into the production process. So sometimes direct materials are added at the beginning of the production process, and for raw material for work in process 1, that might very well be the case. There could be production processes where they're added at the very end. There could be production processes where they're added uniformly throughout the process. So we have to be told on it. We have to be informed on this regarding direct materials. When are they added? For direct labor and overhead, these are assumed to be uniformly added uniformly during the production process. So and then we'll call these terms, so as you're probably familiar with this overall, conversion costs. So direct materials and overhead are called conversion costs, and so we'll be using this acronym, as the authors do as well, to go through that process. So what we need to do is, in terms of figuring out equivalent units, we have to see, well, what stage of production are they in at the beginning and the end of the accounting period. Clearly, if they're completed and transferred out, they're 100% complete. But if they are not completed yet, that is, they're in beginning inventory, or they're then how close are they to be completed? And so what we'll have to do is introduce some percentages to give us a handle on that.